Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Monday, February 12th, 2024. This video is going to be a voiceover because over the weekend I actually painted my office. I've moved furniture out and it's very empty in here and I am full of paint, but I will be back probably tomorrow. So I wanted to circle back on a video I did a couple weeks ago. I said I was only going to talk about this one time, but it's recently become more clear to me about what is happening in this current problem that I discussed about a GoFundMe that a creator that has a channel that competes with mine called Down the Rabbit Hole at Bedtime. In my video, I explained that this group of creators, including the Rabbit Bedtime, her name is Katie as well, were claiming that this specific woman was taking them all to court, and they were lobbying a lot of allegations against this woman, and they were all claiming that this woman works for me and alluding to their audiences that this woman was being sent by me to do things to them. Several of my subscribers reached out to me when this GoFundMe was posted by Down the Rabbit Hole at Bedtime and on both her YouTube and her Facebook page. And they were concerned because she was using my image and she was on her channel making all of these wild accusations about me. And she was telling her viewers that she was being taken to court by me, I guess by proxy, and that because this woman, Sharla, was in court with several of her creator friends, that this had to do with me trying to silence them with Sharla's litigation against them, which wasn't true. So in my video, I had very few details about what was going on, and I didn't totally know the whole scope of what had occurred. And so I wanted to just give a little bit more of an update about this because it's become clear to me that not only was the GoFundMe fraudulent in that she used my name and my likeness to raise the money, but it's also fraudulent in that Sharla's not trying to silence them, and she's also not an unstable woman going after them. It's actually the opposite. And I want to also be clear that I was told that Katie, who is down the rabbit hole at bedtime, and I found her name from the GoFundMe, and she says in her video that she started the GoFundMe, and it says it started by a woman named Katie. So Katie was saying in her videos that this woman is doing this to stop her from talking about me, and that she seems like she's on this mission to speak about me to save the world from me.
By the woman who has so abruptly turned on Renelle, who actually offered a stranger. Renelle actually gave her phone number. She was just someone from her chat. Renelle has currently shelled out thousands of dollars of her own money just to have an attorney to represent her and to ensure that all of this gets taken care of swiftly. It is an extreme financial and emotional burden that this woman has put on Renelle and myself. The first time I met Steve McCrae, I went on to this live stream with him. He was talking about the woman, and I repeatedly said, this sounds like someone with, mental illness. Like, please leave them alone. Just ignore them and they'll go away. We didn't take this real life. This woman is taking us to court in Kansas. She is having to take money away from her family to fight this person. She's not taking the woman to court. The woman's taking her. So, she's having to take money, time, emotional energy away from herself and her family to be able to fight this.
Remain silent due to their fear of repercussions. Even though Katie Joy Paulson has taken her lives away from YouTube and gone onto Instagram and Facebook, she continues to bully, harass, stalk, manipulate, and victimize people around her. It is vital that anyone is free to call her out. A link to the GoFundMe I've created is below, even if you can only give $5.
She has likened me to be as dangerous and as bad as some of the people I've covered. I believe she has been wholly misled about who I am by a group of other creators that have been doing this to me for years. So the truth about what's actually happening is this. Sharla and these creators, including Rabbit Hole, Bedtime Lady, Katie, all met in a Facebook group. I think called Blocked by Katie Joy. And apparently in this group, all of them would just talk about why I blocked them. And the group had become spammy and not a lot of things were happening in there. And Sharla was asked to come in and clean things up. And she apparently was upset with me because I blocked her. But I had blocked her because she had become part of this group and was accusing me of things that weren't true. And in our interactions was very combative with me because she was being told things about me that weren't true, that she actually believed were true. Through my research here, I've learned that Sharla is a survivor of the Institute in Basic Life Principles. She followed me because of that coverage. She was upset with some of the ways I covered the IBLP, and at some point got involved with this group of people that had a Facebook group, and she started to hear negative things about me, and she believed what they were saying about me was true. She then becomes part of this group, and Katie down the rabbit hole is also in there, hearing all of these stories about me, which again are not true. And they all become this group, and they're all in an admin. I don't know if Katie was in the admin. I don't believe Katie was ever an admin, but they're all in this group together. And the person that started that group, his name is Steve. And Steve has been targeting me and harassing me for 4.5 years.
I don't know how much backstory you actually know. So the whole Katie Joy started, she was a co-host on another YouTube channel that I started with a guy named Kyle Curtis, which was the Non-sequitor show. That show had some pretty good popularity. It was mentioned in Forbes.com. I had a lawsuit against him. I won $150,000. Katie kind of built her channel after that. And so Katie has had some false allegations against a bunch of people. She had false allegations against me. She had false allegations against Todd Chrisley, if you know from Chrisley's Knows Best.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
And she had false allegations from 7 Productions and Toddy Westbrook. She's just an incredibly dishonest
Litigious
YouTuber.
person, yeah.
Extremely litigious. She had false TRO against me and 2 other content creators merely to silence us. So I was like, okay, I'm going to fight this, take it head on, right? And so I won my lawsuit against Kyle, and so I decided to sue Katie. And I can't stand Katie Joy. I hate her for every fiber of my being.
What ultimately ends up happening is what's happened to Sharla is what happened to me. So Sharla quickly learned that what they were saying about me was false, and she also learned that they were doing things to people and saying things about people that she didn't agree with outside of me. And they were treating people the way that she apparently didn't want them to be treated. This group of people didn't like that Sharla was not allowing them to speak about my child because she was the group admin. And they also didn't like that she wasn't allowing them to speak ill about the way I look. It was a group fight. And she got removed from the group. And so the reason why this all happens is because it's about a hate group about me. Right? But ultimately, Sharla ends up becoming the target of Steve and all of these creators. And Sharla is not a public figure. Sharla doesn't have a YouTube presence. She's not a content creator. And they have been, since July, doing stream after stream after stream after stream on their various YouTube channels talking about her mental health, about her. They've been trying to characterize her as an unstable, unwell, narcissistic psychopath.
Oh, do you have evidence of this, Charlotte? Can you show us where he went after you as a CSA survivor? No, because of none.
I think she's saying because we're calling her names.
And they have all because she said she didn't agree with how they were running their page and how they acted. And because she refused to do what Steve wanted her to do, which is what happened to me when I refused to do something Steve wanted, and I refused to apologize for him making me uncomfortable, he decided he was going to go on this 5-year target of harassment against me. He is now doing this to Sharla, and he is now doing this with other creators to Sharla, and Rabbit got involved in that. So Sharla doesn't have a YouTube channel, doesn't have a Facebook channel, I believe, since all of this has happened, because they've been making so many videos about her, disparaging her, lying about her, slandering her, harassing her, filing reports against her, filing retaliatory restraining orders against her with merit, attempting to tie her to things that she didn't do, and characterizing her as psychotic, and harassing her real life. So again, she's not a public creator, and they went into her private life and they found people from her private life to bring onto their channels to basically character assassinate her and spread more misinformation about her. And it got to a point where she was facing so many threats and so much harassment from this group that she filed a restraining order against Steve in Kansas. And then she also filed a restraining order against a woman named Brittany and then a woman named Erin. And the three of them, she has a court date, I think on February 26th, for the Erin and Brittany's temporary restraining orders to become permanent. My history with Steve goes back to 2018, but his targeting of me began in the late summer and early fall of 2019. And over the years, he has interfered and caused a lot of problems with me, for me on this platform by telling other creators lies about me. And then those creators end up making videos about me. So he can effectively hurt me through other creators. It's, in my belief, a way for him to seek revenge against me because I wouldn't apologize to him or take his side in a business dispute that he co-owner of a channel that he had that I guest spotted on, but I was never friends with Steve. I was friends with his co-host and co-owner of that channel. And because I didn't take Steve's side and because I shared feelings about what things he had said to me that made me uncomfortable, he then began saying publicly that he would destroy anyone that took the side of his co-creator and co-owner of that channel, and he would burn all of our channels down to the ground. And he gave me an ultimatum and said, I want you to apologize and I'll take you off my radar. And that was in, I think, September of 2019. And I said, no, I'm not going to apologize to you for something that you said to me. And here we are today. I had a restraining order against him in 2020. We negotiated a NDA and an agreement where neither one of us would speak about the other for a year. That was expired in 2021. The day it expired, he began speaking about me. I responded on Twitter with my experience with him. And he then filed a frivolous lawsuit against me, claiming that I had done all of these things to him. And he was trying to claim that he was a victim of me when he wasn't. So we countersued him and we were seeking over $300,000 in damages. And he never actually filed this lawsuit in court. In the state of Minnesota, you can do what's called pocket service and you can serve to an attorney. And it allows the clients that are in a dispute to negotiate settlements or agreements outside of the court so that you don't take up court time with something that could be handled through attorneys. And he made the decision after a year never to file it. And in the state of Minnesota, if you don't file your lawsuit that you pocket serve within a year, it is automatically dismissed with prejudice. So when that was dismissed in 2022, he was unable to sue me over those claims ever again in the state of Minnesota. And my lawsuit against him also, I can't sue him. And for what happened and what we shared in that lawsuit. And so I moved forward and I have moved forward and he unfortunately has not. And so he has made a lot of channels and a lot of Facebook groups and a lot of Facebook pages about me. And he has solicited women through that compete with me. So there's been several channels over the years that have been spoken out against me and made content about me that has been directly influenced by him. And Rabbit is one of those creators now. So is Rennell Smith. And there's a whole list of creators that are doing this to me right now. And they're all part of the same group of creators. And they all work together. They all collaborate to target me. And they do this because they need to defend his honor. Rennell Smith on her channel consistently says that she will never stop defending Steve because I falsely accused Steve of sexual harassment. I never falsely accused him of anything. And so they have created this whole narrative that I am neglectful, I'm dangerous. He tells people I'm a psychopath, I'm a malignant narcissist. He has a lot of things that he says about me. And I have thousands of screenshots over the years, and he has made probably hundreds of videos about me. He talks about me almost daily at times. He goes in periods where he doesn't talk about me and then he does. But regardless, I have been a fixation of his and they make money on it. And so these channels all work together and Rabbit is just one new creator that's involved in this. And it appears she got involved in it because I criticized a video she made by saying that it wasn't true. And I guess I recall I posted something on Instagram about it not being true. And then some of my subscribers said, oh, Katie, yeah, that she does satire. And so I removed the post. But I guess me making that criticism of the video saying this is not true, this is false, be careful what you're watching. And it wasn't to criticize that she was doing a bad job. It was just, this is not a true video. And when I realized it was satire, I removed it. And so she, I guess, decided that that was a big slight to her, and she was very offended by that. And so she decided to go down the rabbit hole with me, and that's how she became connected to all these people. And this is all on her channel. That's how I found this out. I found this out by watching another creator that was covering what she does. Who knew?
Had some kind of falling out with Without a Crystal Ball and ended up joining a group that I had been a part of. It was like a Facebook group, and it was called like Blocked by Katie Joy.
You were in the Facebook group too?
And it was just a group of people who would be like, yeah, like I said such and such about Katie Joy, and then she blocked me, and I just want to join this group to talk about like how hard it is to deal with her or whatever. Katie Joy, we should also hate people like down the rabbit hole at bedtime because she's doing the same kind of content or whatever. And basically, like, I don't really disagree with that. Like, I think that's fine to have that opinion. I think that there's a difference.
Okay.
But I'm not
So
even
what's
gonna
the
go into
problem?
She was saying these things, and I had been in the group, and she actually kicked me out of the group. I didn't even know. I had no idea. I didn't care, like, because I have way too much. I didn't even know. I didn't even know I had been kicked out of the group. But because I was kicked out of the group, Nikki and Steve McCrae, who I had never talked to at that point, started standing up for me. And I guess they were saying, like, what are you talking about? Like, and I'd never spoken to him. He was like, I've watched some of Down the Rabbit Hole bedtime stuff, and she is not like Katie Joy. It's not the same thing. You know, we're not here to focus on people just because they gossip about reality TV shows. That's not why we have a problem with Katie Joy. We have a problem with Katie Joy because she goes real life with people. Steve had kind of stood up for my channel in certain ways. Meanwhile, I had no idea.
Oh, the company.
I had no idea
The
that I was
company.
like living my life, like whatever.
We love the company.
And, you know, that was, he didn't have to do that. That was kind of him. And he actually got into like a lot of, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but he ended up having a lot of issues with this person, like deep issues. And it kind of started with he and Nikki sort of speaking up for me a little bit. So, I mean,
That's
all, like,
where it
silly
started?
YouTube stuff,
That's
but once you're in it,
interesting. That's not
you
what they
can't help
said.
But, you know, have to deal with it. You have to deal with it.
All of these women are told by Steve over and over and over again that I'm dangerous, that I'm a psychopath, that I am a threat to society, to humanity. I don't know what his exact words are. One time I think he said, I'm an existential threat to humanity. He has called me a malignant narcissist. He has likened me to being a psychopath. He has accused me of neglecting my son. He's alluded to the fact that I have Munchausen's by proxy. He says that I am dangerous, and he characterizes my followers as dangerous. And so when Katie makes a video about me, she frequently will say that I am more dangerous than people I cover, like that are cult leaders. And she'll say that I'm worse than them.
I guess she could be like, she's a competitor of mine, right? So I'm not trying to like compete with her, take her channel down. I'm just saying, like, I cannot believe
What do we
about
think,
the subscribers,
guys?
the people that are like hardcore Katie Joy fans. It just makes me think that maybe like there's a lot more people out there like Katie Joy than I realize. And I just have to realize that there's like a base of people who want to see someone like this. So I
She's still lumping Sharla and Katie Joy together.
just have to shut my mouth and move on with my life. You know, I'm just like, maybe that's the real realization that you have to do, Katie, is that people want this kind of content, this kind of like
remain silent due to their fear of repercussions. Even though Katie Joy Paulson has taken her lives away from YouTube and gone onto Instagram and Facebook, she continues to bully, harass, stalk, manipulate, and victimize people around her. It is vital that anyone is free to call her out. A link to the GoFundMe I've created is below, even if you can only give $5.
But
Special
she's
thanks to
only
Dr.
hearing from Steve and his followers what they say about me, and it's just regurgitated over and over and over and over and over. And he says it all the time, that I'm dangerous, that he hates me with every fiber of his being, that he can't stand me, that I'm the most dishonest person in the world. Legal action, restraining orders, NDAs, nothing stops this man. And so at this point, I don't know what else to do but just to come on here and share with you that now what he has done to me, he is doing to Sharla. But the difference here is that I'm a creator and I can defend myself, and I'm a public figure. Sharla's not. Sharla was just someone that was in one of his Facebook groups that became an administrator that had a fight with him about how they were running the channel or running the group. And because they disagreed about that, he took away her admin privileges. They got into some sort of dispute about that. She began to wake up to what he was saying about me. She realized that what he was saying about me was false. Months ago, she reached out to me to apologize for anything that she had said to me, participating in all of this against me. And she understood that what he was doing was not only wrong, but now what he had been doing to me and what he was saying about me, he was now saying about her. So he was using the same tactics, same MO. And so what his group of creators have done is they have gone on a campaign to harass, intimidate, and target Sharla because she didn't agree with them about me. The reason I'm coming on here and doing this for Sharla, and she didn't ask me to do this, by the way, I'm doing this because Sharla was one of my subscribers, someone that came here because she felt like she was seen and heard as a survivor of the IBLP and as someone that has survived insurmountable trauma in her life, that I don't find any of this behavior acceptable. I think it's really disturbing that if you disagree with someone in a Facebook group, this results in going to links where creators with 40,000 subscribers like Rabbit are going after and harassing this poor woman and claiming that she's an unstable stalker, making allegations that this woman is my employee, all doing this because they know that by using my name and trying to link it to me, it will not only damage my reputation, but it'll get them views and it'll make them more money in their GoFundMes. Katie's problem with Sharla appears to be that Sharla kicked her out of a Facebook group. Katie's problem with me is that I appeared to have made a video that criticized Katie in that I said that it wasn't true. Katie says Steve sticks up for her. Steve is validating her as a creator. She doesn't like that Sharla compared her to me, even though we have similar content. And then Katie went on a campaign putting up video after video after video, along with Steve, along with Nikki, another creator, along with Aaron, along with Veda. There's so many different creators in this, Renelle, that were all doing this on behalf of Steve for their various reasons. Renelle says that she's doing it to defend Steve. Katie appears to feel loyalty to Steve because he defended her against Sharla. Aaron is loyal to Steve. Nikki is loyal to Steve. They're all doing this for Steve. And nobody that's a non-creator, a non-public figure, should have to leave a Facebook group and be harassed in this way. A couple weeks ago, I was upset because my name and likeness was being used to help them make money on this. But what's making me more upset is that it's not just my name and likeness that's being used in this, but it's that they're misrepresenting what has happened to Sharla. They're misrepresenting what they've done to Sharla. A judge in the state of Kansas has said she's the victim. And yet these creators continue to push the narrative that she is not the victim. And they keep trying to tie her to me as though there's some malicious conspiracy against them when they're the ones that have a conspiracy clearly against Sharla. I was watching a video yesterday where they have a Twitter account, a group chat, and it's called the Harassment Smear Campaign, or the harassment campaign of Sharla, the Sharla harassment campaign. They're doing a coordinated effort to target her, all for their various reasons, because she dared to say no to Steve and she called out Steve for who he was. I have been the target of Steve. So many other female creators on this platform have been targets of Steve. And now a non-creator is a target of Steve. And every single time one of these new channels comes into it, it's like I have to I'm in a place where I have to defend these asinine allegations against me that he has drilled into this community over and over and over. You know how many times I've heard in the last 4 years is that everyone hates you? No one likes you on YouTube. So much so that yesterday I saw a video of his on a digital content creator who does and works for Chris Hansen of Take a Seat, that I left a comment where I was so upset because I was like, how dare you have this man in here say these things about me? And then I realized it wasn't about me, that Steve was trying to bring in me into a situation that was atrocious and link it to me, which again, had nothing to do with me. Exactly what he's doing to Sharla. And that creator said to me, he's a pathological liar. And I don't believe a word he said. And that's one of the very few times I've ever heard someone say to me that they don't believe him. So many people jump on this bandwagon, and I know that my followers that are in these groups feel like they can't leave because they see the vitriol that happens once they do leave. Because when Sharla left and she wanted to come back to this community, she felt like she couldn't, And now they're making it almost impossible for her because she has been completely annihilated from the internet through this harassment. And they've gone to her real life. They're reaching out to people in DMs to harass them. They're contacting my subscribers on Facebook. They're contacting my subscribers on Instagram. They're running they're running Instagram hate pages, like Without a Crystal Balls. That's connected to them. They're running Facebook groups. They're doing all of these things to try to get my subscribers to turn against me so they can have them. But yet, inevitably, some of my subscribers accidentally end up in these groups and they don't even realize it. And that's the part that makes me sad and scared for my subscribers, because no one should have to go through that. Particularly, if I could tell anyone anything, is that do not get associated with these people. Not because I'm a malignant narcissist, not because I'm a cult leader, not because I want you to be in an echo chamber with me, but because I've seen firsthand what he's done to me. I'm seeing firsthand what he's done to Sharla. I'm seeing firsthand what this group does to he did this to a woman named Fiona. He has done this to so many women on YouTube. He has had moderators like Cheshire that have fallen out with him, Manya that have fallen out with him. It's a merry-go-round of people, and no one should be targeted and harassed on this platform. It's against our TOS. I don't want Steve's channel to disappear. I don't want Steve to disappear. All I've ever asked is that he leave me alone, but he won't. So I feel like I have a duty right now, not only stick up for Sharla and say what has happened to her is unacceptable, and I would never condone this, that she is being maligned and misrepresented as a unhinged stalker when she's the one that's being stalked, and that I don't want Katie to fall into this either, because I feel like Katie has a wonderful channel that my subscribers loved, and they loved her content, and then they didn't like the content once she started going after me, and I don't want to go after her. I have zero interest in attacking her, in making her feel like she's less than me. I think that there's room for everyone on YouTube. And I feel like if she wants to make a million videos on the Duggars and Sister Wives, she should feel free to do that. And she'll have viewers that will listen to her, and they'll listen to her with open arms. But it appears as though she's allowed her frustration and anger with me to cloud her judgment or something to get aligned with these people that are doing really awful things to an innocent woman named Sharla, who's not a public figure. Katie is not being sued. On Friday, I went on Instagram and I said I was gonna have my lawyers look into this. And then over the weekend, I cooled down and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna reach out to Katie. And she doesn't respond. This is the only time I've ever emailed her. She hasn't responded. She clearly watches my content because she removed some of the stuff related to the GoFundMe, although she hasn't corrected it. I just wish that she would be honest about why she's upset and why she keeps making videos about Sharla, why she keeps making videos about me, and just maybe if we could all just focus on what we're good at. I don't want anyone to lose their channels. I don't want to have to silence anyone, and I don't want to go through litigation with people, because I have done that a zillion times because of him and him egging people on. I just want I want people to know that Sharla is not unhinged. I want people to know that what's happening to her is not fair, that she's the victim, and that raising funds under fraudulent purposes like that is dishonest to this community, and misrepresenting a victim as a perpetrator is wrong. If you don't like someone, fine, but be honest. All have a duty to our communities to do the right thing. I don't want anyone to be hurt. I don't want anyone in this situation to be attacked. I don't want anyone to be harmed. I don't want my followers to attack any of these people or yell at them or scream at them. I just want people to know what's going on from my perspective, because I don't talk about this often. And this has been something that's been on my heart for a very long time. And it's something I care about deeply, and I care about my subscribers. And yes, Sharla has participated in horrible things to me and done things to me, but I can forgive her of that. I can forgive her for getting sucked into that, because to me, we all can fall prey to people like that online. But if you can get out of it and you can apologize and you can move on, doesn't that mean we're good adults? Sharla deserves not to be maligned, these creators should really stop just talking about her and move on, and stop acting like they're the ones being stalked when they are the ones that have been stalking her. I wish Katie's channel nothing but success. I hope she truly can grow and achieve the goals that she has made and wants to achieve on this platform. And I hope she finds a positive group of people to surround herself in, whose goal is not to take others down, but to lift up each other up. YouTube can feel like a really lonely place. It can feel like sometimes you're a fish out of water and everyone else has relationships but you, and you're the creator and you don't get to have relationships with your subscribers because you have to respect that boundary. And so it can feel good to have a group of creators around you where you feel like you have a common goal. But when the common goal is negative and it's to harm other creators, or it's to malign and fulfill a vendetta for someone else, that's not a community that I think that is healthy for anyone. My mental health has taken a beating in the last several months because of this situation, because I have been dragged into it, because I had to hire a lawyer to fight a frivolous lawsuit, because to this day, even last night, I was getting threats from these people. I can handle that. But someone like Sharla shouldn't have to handle that because she's not a public figure. And none of us as creators should be ever attacking our subscribers in video after video after video because they don't agree with us. I will always protect my subscribers. I will protect my members. I will stand up for them. And I'm standing up for Sharla. And I hope all of these creators will just stop and do the right thing. I know they won't. I know at least a few won't. But I have hope for a few that they'll come and see the light, because I just want to live in a place of harmony where we can all work on our goals. And my goal is to expose cult leaders. And I'm fairly confident that the anti-KJ group is a cult led by a very angry man with a vendetta against me that he just can't let go, even though I didn't do what he says I did. I love all of you. I'm sorry to Sharla, and I hope that the creators that have fundraised off this will please correct this information and leave Sharla alone. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.